for joining me tonight. We have a healing called Pay It Forward, and it's really a healing about your generosity tonight. I've broken it into a couple of categories just to help me with the healing. I figured that between family, friends, and strangers, we would be able to cover all of your generosity. So I'm going to do a clearing to your general ability to pay it forward, and then we'll clear out the energy that gets between you and your generosity, between family, strangers, and friends. You know, I am from the Bay Area up north in Northern California, and we have a lot of bridges. And sometimes when you go to pay the toll at the bridge toll, somebody will have paid it for you, which is really cool. It always puts me in a good mood when somebody does that. And I've done it to somebody else behind me. And that's a great example of paying it forward. It's just doing something unexpected. So I'm going to go ahead and set the energy for the healing tonight and get going. As we cleanse and heal the temple of the soul, may it be with the blessing of divinity that it shine its countenance upon us and bring us peace in body, mind, and spirit. Amen. Okay, I'm doing this healing based on a composite of everybody in the sanctuary. So if you are a member of the sanctuary and you cannot attend tonight, that's okay. I'm still actually working on you, and you can watch the replay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm starting with your basic general garden variety generosity. And a lot of unconscious energy before I can even see the space. A lot of white, kind of cloudy energy. Oh, your generosity at its core is a gorgeous, deep gold. And what I see about it is that, like, that's the core, and then there's these mottled colors on top of it that we're going to clear out. The first energy that's showing up is what I'm going to call takers. I think we all know what a taker is. Somebody that never really offers up anything, and they just will use you or take advantage of you or seriously take your energy. And that's a lot of what I'm seeing with this black energy in this space. And it's interesting because where the energy is of the takers, it looks like scars, like the takers have really taken their toll on you and your aura. Inside the space that I'm working on, that deep gold, one thing that I notice about it is that you have unlimited generosity at its core. Very exciting, completely unlimited. One of the things I'm seeing that I'm going to work on at the end of this particular section is how much of your energy you've given in being generous. So I'm going to be calling that back. It's really quite a lot. It's spread out. And I'm helping you clear pictures that are like pictures of being generous for the sake of attention. And in a number of you, I can see a family member trying to control your generosity. I think I'm just going to move the beings out. I was sitting here trying to think of how to do this. I'm going to move the beings out, but yeah, there's in a lot of your space, there's a family control, and in some of you, it's a being that doesn't have a body, and some of you, it's an actual parent. So I'm taking parents out first. Okay, and now I'm going to take the beings out. So the point of trying to control your generosity, as far as I can see from this healing, is so that you don't give away your generosity that would be given to the family somewhere else. So that's why there's control energy coming from the parents, is that generosity is desired by the parents. There's a lot of purple energy coming out now. Oh, this is so good. The purple energy represents energy that was thrown at you for being generous. How do you like that? But that's what I see, like when you light up other people who maybe aren't generous or who can't be generous, and then they'll throw energy at you. But that's what I'm finding in here. And you know, there's kind of a thing that goes on with healers. When you get energy thrown at you for being generous, what it does is it kind of closes you down from starting your next mock-up. So it really affects your creative process. I'm going to clean that out of the creative process. Excuse me. The judgment is really what I'm doing, is clearing judgment out of your generosity space from other people. And it's very slow moving. There it goes. And now I can see so much more of your generosity information. And it's, like I said, it's a really deep yellow gold, beautiful. And it's pretty clear. So I'm going to fill that in with gold. And now we're going to take a look at you being generous with your family and any energy that gets between you and your generosity with your family. The first thing that's everywhere is red resistance, resistance to your family and being generous to them. And what's behind that karma, I don't have all the karma cleared yet, but excuse me, I'm getting to the karma because what's behind all of the energy that I was working on was karma. So that's really why you resist being generous with your family, is your karma with your family members. And I'm going to try to do a general karma grounding right now. That's a lot of karma. There's a reason we pick our family members before we take our bodies. I was also looking at something else in here, and that's you receiving generosity from your family. I'm going to look at the energy of that. What I'm being shown is that out of the generosity that's extended to you from the family, you're showing me that only a small, I lost it. Just give me a minute here. Juggling a lot of things. I know what it was, that there's only a small amount. This is what you're showing me that comes from your parents that doesn't come with attachments like baggage with the generosity. In other words, you be given something, but there are things attached to whatever that gift is. That's what you are telling me, is that it's only a small amount of the generosity that comes unattached from anything else. Like like free generosity. And when I say free, I'm talking about free of everything, just giving something to give something and no expectations of anything back. And what you were saying that I was not clearly articulating is that there is an expectation on a lot of the generosity that is extended to you from the family. And your generosity in your family space has turned out to be a really pretty orange gold. I'm going to fill it in with a sun. I like that. So that got cleaned out both ways, you giving generosity and receiving generosity. All right, so the next one is friends. Let's take a look at your generosity with friends. Well, you can't give it away fast enough. That's what I see. And that doesn't surprise me with a bunch of healers. But yeah, and it's a very active space. Like you are currently giving in this space. And for a lot of you, it's a wonderful feeling. There's a lot of fulfillment in the action of being generous and paying it forward. I'm going to help you ground expectations out of this because there's a level or an element of expecting something back if you're going to be generous to a friend. I want to help you take that out. But this is where I see a lot of growth and evolution, really. Like this is a great space where you evolve a lot as a being is in your generosity to your friends because it's a lot more free flowing than with the family. And so you get to experience that life experience that you get from being generous. Again, in this space, I'm going to help you clear out what I'm going to call takers and friends who you are generous to, but they kind of never come around and step up. So let me just clean that out. I guess what I'm seeing is that more so than more so than with the family space, with friends, there is a bit of an expectation of something in return. And a lot of times, what that expectation in return is just a heart chakra hello. And now I'm looking at it going the other way, can you receive generosity from your friends? And one of the first things I see, and I probably see this because I use tools, but the first thing that I see is when your friends are generous with you, they don't really know boundaries, and they will come right through your space, plop themselves in your space to give to you. So that's the first thing I notice, is that your friends' picture of being generous to you oftentimes includes moving themselves and their energy into your aura. I'm showing you that energy and showing you how to back that out. It is the color of yucky yellow white. It's just a blah color. And another thing that I see in this friend space is it's not a very equal exchange as far as generosity goes. It's very one-sided, with you being by far the more generous, is what I see. And one thing that I see about this is that a lot of the generosity is tied in with heart chakra agreements. And I know I've talked about this before. You want to pay attention to which chakra you're in when you make an agreement with somebody, because when you start making friendships in the heart chakra, that's when you have the energy in that heart chakra, it makes it very difficult to change agreements with the person, because the heart chakra holds a lot of obligation. And so my 2 cents or 6 cents to you would be to make your friendships from your 6th chakra. It's a higher energy vibration. Okay, it took me a little while to see this and figure it out, but there's a lot of dark, heavy energy in your generosity space that is the energy of friends wanting a healing from you. That's a really pretty orange gold now. I'm going to fill that in with a big sun. And then we're going to move on to strangers. Let's take a look at how you pay it forward with strangers. It's very interesting. About 3/4 of this space is very tightly held, like there's no generosity to be had. But then 1/4 of the space is just free generosity, like very open and very free in giving. I want to try to bring a little balance to this space. So some of the reasons are like getting burned by people, from helping them, getting burned by them. That's one thing coming out right now. Yeah, there's really a lot of negative energy on strangers and being generous to them. One is a fear of homeless people jumping in your space. So that's one thing, is a fear of not being able to handle a stranger's energy. You know, the other thing too about paying it forward with a friend that I can see is that you don't get that validation back. So paying it forward with, not a friend, I meant a stranger. Paying it forward with a stranger requires you to learn how to validate yourself for doing that kind act. Whereas if you're giving to your family or friends, you get that communication back. But with strangers, I see that there's not really always a communication back and a thank you. And so that's where you have to come in and validate yourself. I'm going to ask Supreme Being to bring some validation into this space. That's coming in as this really pretty orange gold. And just clearing the energy of the fear of the unknown when around a stranger. Okay. All right. And fill that in with the gold sun. Now, I'll be honest with you. There is still some energy in the stranger category. And it's just heavy energy. I think you're still going to be releasing after this healing. So just keep that in mind, that you may still be releasing energy for a day or two after this. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close out the healing. May it be with the blessing of divinity that this healing tonight be complete. Amen. All right. Good job. Don't forget to give yourself a gold sun. And I want to tell you that next Tuesday is Seek and You Will Find, where you can ask me a question and I'll give you the answer in the form of a healing, and also do a healing for everybody on the call. And then next Thursday is Creating an Ease. Yes, we're going to do more mock-ups, and I'm going to do a little something called spontaneous creating that night. For those of you that took Creative Genius, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we're going to learn how to do a spontaneous mock-up by the end of class. So please come join me if you want to clean out your mock-up space and bring ease into that whole creative process. Really, really looking forward to that. And so that's kind of what's up for next week. So I'll just leave it with that. And I am still working on putting my healing program together. So for those of you that haven't heard, I'm putting together a year-long healing program that will be like from A to Z, starting with the basic principles of healing and going through many different techniques, so that by the end of the year, you can feel very confident about going out and practicing as a healer if you want to professionally, because you will have been exposed to many different techniques throughout the year. All right. So just giving you a little teaser about that. I'll be coming up with an announcement fairly soon. If you're interested, look for this happening in June. So I just need 2 more months to put the whole thing together, but I'm personally getting very excited. Okay, so that's the news for tonight, and got my eyes on you. Hope you had a good healing tonight and have a lovely evening. I will see you Tuesday for Seek and You Will Find. Okay, good night, everyone.